Hello and welcome to Outpost Virtual Series. Today we'll be live streaming a Hatha Flow Yoga class with Dakota Ray. My name is Robert and I would like to thank you all for tuning in. Outpost is launching a variety of different virtual events each week to keep our community active, engaged, and connected during these times. Tomorrow we'll be live streaming a Skillshare led by Ninny Fritz on Start Living Your Bucket List Now. So I encourage you all to go follow our Outpost Facebook page. I'll put the link in the comments so you guys can get updates on the new schedule of events that we'll be live streaming each week. Tonight's live streaming wellness session will be a Hatha Flow Yoga class led by Dakota Ray. Dakota is a seasoned yoga instructor specializing in vinyasa, hatha, yoga therapy, and meditation. So I'll drop a link to her information in the comment section so you guys can check in on her and stay up to date on what she's up to. I also encourage you all to say hello and what part of the world you guys are tuning in from. We love to hear from our community, so I encourage you all to do that. If you guys have any fitness or yoga related practice questions throughout the yoga class, I encourage you also to drop them in the comment section and we can tackle those at the end of the session with Dakota. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Dakota to kick things off. Everyone grab your mat and enjoy your practice. Thanks. Hello, Dakota.
Hello.
Welcome. We're all very excited for your class.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored to be a part of your virtual series. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you everybody for tuning in from all around the world. My name is Dakota Ray. You can also find me on my Instagram or my YouTube channel at Foxy Ray, FOXXYRAY. That's Foxy Ray with 2 X's. I've been doing yoga for coming up on 10 years, and I did my yoga teacher training in Rishikesh, India, where I learned many things, and I hope to practice there again sometime. It's a wonderful, wonderful town. So I encourage you to grab your yoga mat and maybe a blanket or a towel or a pillow, something to prop your hips up in our seated position. If you don't have either of those things, that's absolutely okay. All you really need for yoga is your body and yourself. What else? Let's see. I am in Portland, Oregon, the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and it is 4 a.m. here. Outpost is hosting all the way across the world in Bali. I believe it is 7 p.m. there. And wherever you are tuning in from home, you're probably somewhere in between. So whether the sun is setting or the sun is rising, I invite you to all come into this present moment and come on this journey together. If you have any questions, you can always comment in the chat, and at the end we will talk about those. What else? Let's see. Yeah, I encourage you to do whatever feels good in your body throughout this practice. So if something doesn't feel good to you, then make sure to change it. Make sure to ease off or to come out of the pose. This is your practice. So really we're taking the time to tune into ourselves, to tune into our body, to tune into our energy. So just allow yourself to move freely. I invite you to be open to my teaching. If you're new to yoga, that's great. What an exciting adventure to try something new. So with that, let's come to a comfortable seated position. You can sit on your blanket or you can sit on the edge of a couch. You can also sit against the wall if that's more comfortable. I invite you to scoop the butt flesh out from underneath the sit bones. Let the sit bones ground into the earth. Place the hands on the knees, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Invite a gentle lift to the belly, a gentle tuck to the chin, elongating the back neck, and reach out through the crown of your head. We're going to start by practicing some diaphragmatic breathing, which is breathing, tuning into the diaphragm. So the diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle that's in between the lungs and the abdomen, and it moves down on the inhale, creating space for the lungs to expand fully. And then on the exhale, it moves up when the lungs deflate. So we're just going to bring our awareness there to really get the full capacity of the lungs. So when you're ready, I invite you to close the eyes and settle into the rhythm of your breath. Slow and steady inhales and slow and steady exhales. Maybe inviting a gentle lift to the sides of the mouth, creating a smile, promoting happiness in the body. Noticing the heartbeat. Noticing any sensations in the body. And picture that diaphragm muscle moving down on the inhale, letting the stomach and the lungs expand, and everything deflates. The diaphragm moves back up. Starting to arrive at your practice. Breathing through the nose. Picturing the diaphragm moving down on the inhale and back up on the exhale. This is a great breathing technique to come to at any point in your day, just to help calm the nervous system and bring more oxygen flow to the body. I invite you to place one hand on the heart and the other hand on top of it. Let's take a moment to set an intention for our practice. It could be paying close attention to the breath. It could be being kind to yourself, having nice positive self-talk throughout the practice. Whatever it is, breathe it in and manifest it out. Release the hands, open the eyes. Welcome to our practice together. One of our main focuses today is going to be really opening up our side body all the way up into the armpits. So with that in mind, let's start by rotating the torso around in a circle, starting to create movement in the body, connecting the breath. Inhale, coming forward, and exhaling, coming back. Making sure not to judge yourself and just really being proud of yourself to come to your practice today and taking the time to take care of yourself. When you're ready, rotate the other way. One more round. And back to center. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Nice and gentle. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Reach, 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 maybe opening up, looking at the ceiling. Exhale, arm comes down. Inhale, left arm or right arm reaches. I'm mirroring you guys. Open up, gazing at the sky. And exhale back to center. One more time, left arm reaches. This time rounding the spine. Bringing the navel towards the spine and creating space in the back of the shoulder. Deep breaths. And back to center, right arm lifts. This time around, pressing navel to spine, creating space in the right side body. And back to center. Let's open up the neck a little bit. Bring the hands down by the sides, chin drops. And gently rotate the neck in a circular motion. 2 rounds on each side. Nice and gentle, maybe noticing any cracks or stuck spots. Maybe spending a little more time there. When you're ready, reverse. Continuing to breathe. And when you're ready, come back to center. Let the right ear drop towards the direction of the right shoulder. Maybe taking the right hand to the left side of the neck and just gently touching the neck, bringing love and connection to the body. I know a lot of us are isolated at home and may not be getting all the touch and hugs that we would normally hope for. So allow yourself to give you that love. Everything we have everything we need is inside of us. Maybe release the arm and just breathe deep into the neck. Creating space on each inhalation and softening on each exhalation. And back to center. Let the right ear drop toward, or the left ear drop towards the left shoulder. And maybe taking the left hand towards the right side of the neck. And just offering yourself a little love, a little caress, a little massage. Stretching the neck is so important. I recommend doing it once a day. We're spending so much time on the computer or looking down on our phones or at a book. So we hold a lot of tension in the neck. When you're ready, back to center. Turn the gaze towards the right shoulder and then drop the chin towards the direction of the armpit. Maybe stay here or maybe bring the right arm up and grab onto the back of the left side of the head. And gently maybe pulling down, but you're being super gentle here. We're not trying to rip the head off or anything. We're just trying to open up some space in the trapezius muscle, a muscle that holds a lot of tension that's often not stretched. Slow and steady inhales and slow and steady exhale. Making sure your spine is nice and straight, creating a nice foundation for this stretch. Gently releasing that, coming back to center. Gaze turns over the left shoulder. Left chin drops towards the direction of the left armpit. Maybe stay here, or maybe bring the left arm up and over, grabbing onto the right side of the back of the head, and just gently pulling. Opening up the trapezius muscle on the other side. Maybe doing a little massage on the base of the skull. If this is the first time you've ever stretched the trapezius muscle, you might start to really feel some energy release. I know the first time I did this stretch, I was amazed with how much tension and energy I was holding in there, and it all felt like I had energy pulsing through my body. just from opening up this one muscle. And back to center. Place one hand on the chest and the other hand on top of it. Gently pull the skin down and let the back of the head drop towards the shoulder blades, stretching in the throat. Maybe playing with letting the teeth part. And if you want a little more of a stretch, letting the teeth come together. Maybe letting the ear drop to one side, just barely opening up the side of the front of the throat into the collarbones. And over to the other side. And back to center. Release the hands, roll the wrists. And roll them the other way. Great. Bring the hands towards the shoulders. Elbows kiss. If they don't quite touch, that's okay. We're just gonna roll the shoulders a little bit. Nice straight spine. Starting to warm up the upper body. And reverse. Okay, shake that out. We're going to come to tabletop position on all fours. So if you have a blanket, you're welcome to put that down to protect your knees. Spread the fingers wide and place them on the mat. You want your wrists right underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. The toes can be tucked or flat, whatever feels good to you. Inhale, look up for cow, arching the back. And gently and very slowly rounding the spine, one vertebrae at a time, coming into cat, pressing against the earth. Maybe shaking the head out. Great. Slowly arch the back, lift the head, coming up for cow. On the next exhale, press to cat. And do a few at your own pace. Maybe flipping the toes to open up the bottom of the feet if that feels good. All right, come back to neutral. Send the hips over and back, over and up, coming into a circular motion with the hips, creating space in the hips, and connecting the breath. If this is too much on your wrists, you're welcome to come to fists. And when you're ready, reverse. One more time. Untuck the toes, knees wide, sit it back, child's pose, arms come down by your sides, and let the forehead come down to the mat. Let the shoulders hang slack and breathe deep down into the belly. Maybe coming back to that intention that you set for your practice. Offering yourself words of encouragement, being compassionate with yourself and proud of yourself for having an open mind and
coming on this journey with me. One more breath into the low back, expanding with each inhalation and softening with each exhalation. Maybe rocking your forehead side to side, releasing tension in the third eye. When you're ready, extend the arms out. Nice active arms here, starting to get ready for down dog. But first you're gonna inhale and exhale, walk the hands over to the left, maybe one or two handprints, and reach back on the right hip, getting into the whole right side of the body. Big inhale here. And let it all out, exhale. Few more breaths at your own pace. When you're ready, come back to center and walk the hands over to the right, reaching back on the left hip, making space in the left side body, and getting into that armpit space that's so often missed, yet so much tension is stored here. Sending the diaphragm down on the inhale towards the pelvis and feeling it come back up on the exhale. Inhale back to center. We're going to come into puppy pose, so let the hips come up and let the hands slide forward. Arms straight, strong and firm. Fingers spread wide. Navel tucking up towards the spine. And now sliding the hands back, letting the hips sit back to child's pose. And when you're ready, untuck the toes, reach up and back, down dog. Few deep breaths here. Bending one knee and then the next, pedaling out the legs. Externally rotating the arms, letting the traps come down onto the back so that they're not up by the ears. Making sure that there's weight in the knuckle of the index finger and weight in the root of the thumb. Taking some weight off the wrist. Inhale, reach up on the toes, lifting up. Exhale, press into the heels. It's okay if your knees are bent here. It's more about creating space in the spine and gently and slowly getting into the hamstrings. Engage the legs, hug skin to muscle and muscle to bone. And when you're ready, we're going to baby step all the way up to the very front of the mat. Bend the knees and let everything hang heavy. Let the neck and the head be slack. Let there be bent knees and the legs. The more you bend the knees, the more the low back releases. Few deep breaths here, letting all the tension melt down. Letting gravity release the tension. And very slowly, we're going to peel our way back up, one vertebrae at a time, starting with the low back. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Feel the sensations in the body. Feel the energy flow. And when you're ready, I invite you to meet me at the middle of our mats. You stay standing. I'm going to come to my knees, that way you can see my arms. We're going to start engaging through the core a little bit. So I want you to take a second and cough. Seems a little silly, but you can really feel the rib cage come towards the pubic bone and the pubic bone come towards the rib cage when you cough. So give it a couple more. And it's that, so we're going to use that same feeling, ribs to pubic bone towards ribs. And then we're going to connect the hip points and bring them in towards the navel just a millimeter. So it's almost just like an energetic thing. Keep that. Inhale. Exhale, release. Let everything go soft. Inhale. Exhale, ribs to pubic bone to ribs. Hip points come in, everything's coming in towards the midline. Navel presses back towards the spine. Engaged core, but everything else is relaxed. We're not straining in the body here. We want to have an engaged core, but still be able to breathe with it. So inhale fully. Exhale, relax. Last time, inhale. Exhale, ribs to pubic bone to ribs. Hip points towards the midline. Hold that inhale. Hold that exhale. Hold that inhale. And exhale, release. Let it go. Good. All right. With a nice engaged core, nice and connected, we're going to reach the arms up. Clasp the hands, the wrists, clasp one hand on the wrist and reach up and over towards the left. Again, creating space along this whole entire outer side body into the armpit, reaching up and over. Back to center. Switch the clasp, reach up and over. Rooting down into the opposite hip, opposite leg. And back to center. One more time, up and over. This time round, navel towards spine. And back to center. Reach up and over. Around on this side. And back to center. Release that. Very good. We're going to do a balancing pose here, starting to bring some heat into the legs. So we're going to come into tree pose. So root down into the right leg, root down to the four corners of the feet, maybe spread the toes, engage up on the quad, lifting the knee. The left foot can either stay here, heel to the top of the ankle, or you can bring it on the inner calf here, or up into the inner thigh, but you don't want to be on the knee. That can be dangerous. It's okay if you fall out of it, just come right back in. Place the hands at heart center, hone everything towards the midline, nice engaged core, and breathe. Now the trick to a balancing pose is to pick a point that's not moving. This is called your dristi, your gaze. Hug everything towards midline. And you can stay here, or you can expand and express your hands in any expression that you'd like, maybe coming into cactus. Make sure on the standing leg, you're lifting the kneecap up, creating an engagement in the quad. Stomach's nice and engaged, but not straining.
and breathe. When I teach my kids yoga class, I tell them, oh, a butterfly just landed on your branch. You better stay still. And maybe the wind's picking up and your branches start to sway from side to side. Okay, when you're ready, hands to heart center, everything comes towards midline and release. Shake that standing leg out. And let's do it on the other side. So root down into the left leg, spread the toes, rooting down into the four corners of the feet. Engage the kneecap up, nice strong quad. Bring the right leg up into whatever spot that feels good to you. Hands come to heart center, core engaged, everything wrapping in. Pick a point that's not moving. You want to make sure you're not dumping in the hip. You want to make sure you're really pressing down into the earth. And bring your arms to any expression that you like. Starting to feel heat cultivated in the legs, in the core, and the arms as well. Try to reach up through the crown of your head, elongating that back spine. Maybe inviting a gentle tuck to the chin to help with that long neck. And when you're ready, everything comes toward midline and you release. Shake that out. Very good. All right, let's meet at the front of our mats. You can bring the blanket towards the middle of the mat if you'd like. Flare the toes, root in through the ground, rooting in through the four corners of the feet. Hands at heart center. Reach the arms up. Inhale, exhale, fold. Knees slightly bent. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the bottom of the knees or up to the thighs, whatever feels good to you, but you want a nice flat back here. The chin slightly tucks so that you can reach out through the crown of your head. Navel presses towards spine. And exhale, fold. Place the hands, step back, down dog. Few deep breaths here. Maybe coming back to that intention. Slowly come forward to plank. This is our first plank, so let's do knees down. Hug the stomach up and in. And slowly come forward and lower down, bending the elbows. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Engage the legs, engage the core. Pull back on the hands and come up, low cobra. You want your thumbs in line with the nipples here. And you want the whole low back to be engaged. So you can even pick up the hands. So you don't have a lot of weight in the hands here. It's all starting to bring heat and engagement into the back body. Place the hands down, flip the toes, press up and back, down dog. Right leg reaches, three-legged dog. Keep the hips square. You want to check your pinky toe and make sure it's pointing down towards the ground so that you're not opening up in the hip. Step it through. Let the left knee come down to the blanket and reach all the way up, Anjaneyasana. We're not trying to sink in the hips here. You want to lift up, zipper up. Place the right hand down on the thigh, reach the left arm up and over, creating length in the side body. You can feel the hip flexor starting to open up. Right arm reaches back up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left leg meets the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time place your hands on your hips and rise up. Reach the arms up, maybe slight back bend. Exhale, sit it down for chair. Hands can be at heart center, or they can be up, or they can be back. You want a neutral pelvis here. You don't want to be splaying out, arching the back, or tucking the pelvis too much. It's just nice and neutral, sitting down like you're sitting in an imaginary chair. Place the hands on the outer sides of the thighs and press the legs into the hands and the hands into the knees. Then you will feel the outer glutes engage here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach out through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold. Place the hands, step back, down dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Maybe keeping the knees up or maybe not. Maybe letting them come down. But no matter what, the core is engaged. Hips lifted up and breathe. Slowly come forward and down. This time coming up into cobra. Press through the hands. Elbows still bent. Let the shoulders roll up, back and down so that the trapezius muscles aren't up towards the ears. You want everything to be nice and open, creating a nice open chest and openness in the collarbones. Inhale here. Exhale, flip the toes, press up and back, down dog. And left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Check that pinky toe. Make sure that hip is facing the mat. Internally rotating the leg. And exhale, step it through. Right knee comes to the mat. Rise up, Anjaneyasana on the other side. Instead of sinking the hips, zipper up. Core nice and engaged, everything towards the midline. Left hand comes to the left leg. Right arm reaches up and over. Feeling that heartbeat. Good, come back up. Left arm reaches up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Back leg reaches up to the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Legs can be bent or straight, whatever feels good to you. But you want the legs to be engaged so you're not locking out in the knees. Let everything hang slack here for a second. Maybe shaking the head no and shaking the head yes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Place the hands on the hips. Inhale, rise up. Arms reach, reach, reach. Maybe slight back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Come back to that intention. All right, open the eyes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Place the hands, step back, down dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Keep the hips up. You don't want to be slouching down here. Engage the core, press the navel to spine. Slowly come forward and down. This time you can either stay in low cobra, regular cobra, or you can reach all the way up, pressing into the legs for upward dog. On your next exhale, press up and back, down dog. Let the navel press against the spine. This time, bend the knees, look at the hands, and step or hop to the front of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, last time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sit it down for chair. Slowly come all the way down onto your butt. Coming into boat pose. There's a lot of variations for boat pose. You can stay here with the feet down, the hands on the knees, or you can bring the hands back. That creates a nice open chest. You can bring the one leg up if you'd like, or you can bring both legs up. If you're feeling feisty, you can straighten the legs and open the arms. So wherever you are, maybe flare the toes, and don't forget to breathe. Feel the heat being cultivated in the abdomen and the quads and the arms. This is the only core work we're going to do today, so bear with me. It's good to shake, good for your body. And slowly come down all the way on to the mat. Reach the arms up overhead, extend the legs long. Give yourself a big stretch. Inhale fully. Exhale, release. Everything relaxes. Maybe move the blanket to support the back of your neck, or just release the blanket completely. I like a little support in my neck. We're going to come into bridge pose. So place the feet flat on the floor. You want your feet underneath your knees. Hands down by your sides. Press the outer shoulders into the earth, the inner shoulders up towards the base of the heart. So you have a nice wide chest. Send the hips up. Gently tucking the chin so that your back of the neck is elongated. Press the hips up. Press into the shoulders. Slow, steady breaths. And slowly come down. Extend the right leg up. Clasp the hands behind the right thigh. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Give your ankle a nice rotation. And rotate the other way. And now flex and flare the toes. And point the foot, point the toes. Flex the foot, flare the toes. This time point the foot, but flex the toes, Barbie foot. And unclasp the hands, let the right ankle cross over to the left thigh. You can stay here. You might have a visit from your outer right hip. Or you can bring the left foot up and clasp the hands behind the left thigh, coming into eye of the needle. Maybe flexing the right foot, just creating a little active awareness in the leg while we open up the right hip. Make sure the rest of your body is not straining here. You want to relax the face. Let the forehead melt. Let the space behind the eyes soften. Let the teeth part and the jaw relax. Let the throat soften and the back of the neck relax. You can always come back to that diaphragmatic breathing, focusing the diaphragm moving down on the inhale, creating full capacity in the lungs, and coming back up on the exhale, lungs deflating.
Unclasp the hands, let the foot come down. Scoot the hips over to the right and let the right foot come down onto the left side of the mat. The right arm can extend out, or you can place the right hand on the right hip bone and give yourself a little massage, a little loving. Starting to cool down now. And back to center. Release the leg. Feel the difference between the right and the left. Bring the legs up, shake them out, shake the hands out. Let the right foot come down, extend the left leg up, clasp the hands behind the left thigh, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Rotate the ankle and rotate it the other way. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Flare the toes. This time point and flare the toes coming into Barbie foot. Release the hands. Let the left ankle cross over the right thigh. Maybe stay here if that's enough in the left hip. Or maybe pick the right foot up and clasp the hands behind the right thigh, coming into eye of the needle on the other side. Let everything soften. Feel the space behind the eyes. Soften. Let the forehead melt. Release that jaw. Unclasp the hands. Scoot the hips over, let the left foot come down onto the right side. Eye of the needle twist, let the left arm either reach out or you can bring the left hand to the left hip bone and massage the left hip bone, getting into the hip flexor, all around the pelvis. And back to center. Roll onto one side, coming into a fetal position and pressing up to a comfortable seat. Maybe sitting up on the blanket, propping the hips up. Before we come to our final resting pose, Shavasana, we're going to do a little guided meditation where we bring our awareness to our energy flow and the space around us. So to help us with that, we're going to use Chin Mudra. This is the mudra meaning the gesture of consciousness. You take your index finger and you hook it to your thumb. You bring both hands onto the knees and the palms face up. So the index finger represents your individual consciousness and the thumb represents the ultimate divine consciousness. So the palm and the tips of the fingers have a lot of nerve root endings, and so they emit a lot of energy. So when we bring the index towards the thumb and connect them, it creates a circuit where we can have the energy flow and circle back up, almost like looping back up towards the body and back up to the brain. So when you're ready, scoot the butt flesh out from underneath the hip bones, let the seat bones ground into the earth, roll the shoulders up, back and down, invite a gentle lift to the belly, a gentle tuck to the chin, elongating the back neck, reaching out through the crown of the head. Get your Chin Mudra ready.
Gently place the hands on the knees, and I invite you to close the eyes. Settle into the rhythm of your breath. Slow and steady inhales and slow and steady exhales. I invite you to bring your awareness to the crown of your head, the top of the head. And start to relax that space. Feel the energy melting down over the forehead, down into the temples, into the back of the head. Let the energy melt away the space behind the eyes. Soften the inner corner of the eyes. Soften the outer corner of the eyes. Soften the temples. Soften the cheeks. Feel the energy melting down the jawline, releasing tension in the mouth. Maybe letting the teeth part. Continuing to bring our awareness to our energy. Our energy drips down the back of the neck, the front of the throat, the sides of the neck, into the collarbones, into the shoulder blades, into the tops of the arm bones. Map your energy down towards your elbows, into the eye of the elbow. And continue tracking the energy down the forearms, into the wrists. Feel the energy move down into the hands, into the fingers, and loop around, feeling the connection of the index finger with the thumb. And now start feeling the pull of the energy back up into the wrist, coming back up into the forearm, into the elbow. The energy lifts up to the shoulders, up into the neck, feeling light in the head. Let the energy creep up the back of the neck, up the jawline, into the temples. Bring your entire awareness to your third eye. And let the energy come to the crown of the head. Continue to work our way up. We're gonna let the energy hover above the head, maybe a foot above our body. Bringing your complete awareness in the space above the head, letting it lift you up, coming all the way up to the ceiling. Breathing there. Continuing to move the energy up. Our energy reaches all the way to the sky, out of the building, into the sky, where the sun sets, or maybe the sun's rising. Maybe there's clouds there, or maybe it's total darkness. Continuing to reach the energy out of the sky, out of the earth, all the way into the stars, into space. Bring your presence completely and utterly all the way up into the stars. Maybe taking a moment to bring awareness to the burning suns in space. Some that are much bigger than our sun. Maybe taking the time to think about one of your favorite constellations. And maybe taking the time to honor our ancestors here. And breathe there. And now slowly coming back down to earth. Our energy is in the sky, meeting the sunset or the sunrise, the clouds or the darkness. Slowly let the energy come down to the ceiling, back into the building. And let the energy come back to about a foot above your head, hovering there. Continuing to breathe, nice long spine. Now bring your awareness to the crown of your head. We meet there again. Feel the entire body lifting up, reaching out. And the energy drips down into the third eye, the space in the middle of the forehead. Acknowledging our connection of our individual consciousness with the ultimate divine consciousness. I invite you to place one hand on the heart and the other hand on top of it. Bring the awareness down towards the space around your heart. Invite an immense amount of gratitude into this space for taking the time and the energy to be a vessel for the divine to come through. And keeping the eyes closed, we're going to come to our backs, coming into our final resting pose. Maybe bringing the blanket to support the neck. When you're ready, let the hands come open, the palms facing up, let the feet splay open. Everything's relaxed here. Let the space behind the eyes soften. Let the jaw relax. Let all the work that we did integrate into the body during this time. And let yourself be free from doing anything in this moment besides laying and breathing. We're going to be here a few minutes and then I'll prompt you out of it. You're welcome to stay here longer if you'd like to continue to rest. So when you're ready, I invite you to settle down into your Shavasana. And deepen into the breath. Invite a gentle wiggle to the fingers and toes, bringing life back into the body. Reach the arms up overhead. Give yourself a big stretch. And gently bending one knee and then the next, and rolling to one side, coming into fetal position, pausing here. With as little energy as possible, press up to a comfortable seated position. Keep the eyes closed, reach the arms up overhead, palms together, and exhale, bring palms towards heart center. Thank you so much for doing this practice with me and for taking the time to take care of yourself. The light in me honors the light in you so much. Namaste. I hope you all are feeling nice and relaxed, and I hope that you learned a little something. If you liked my class, I did put about 14 new classes up on my YouTube channel during this quarantine time. That way we all have access to as much yoga as possible while we're stuck at home. So thank you so much. Thank you, Outpost, for having me.
Thank you so much, Dakota. It was very relaxing. I'm watching it on my end, and I am very zen at the moment. So thank you for that. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Whether you're watching it live or you're going to be watching it post-event, we encourage you all to follow our Outpost page, as we'll be rolling out different events each week. But I want to give it up for Dakota, so everyone give her some love in the comment sections. I'm also going to be linking her YouTube channel and her Instagram, so you guys can stay in touch with her and connected and see what she's up to. Also, don't forget about our live stream event. Same time tomorrow, we'll be hosting a Skillshare led by Nini Fritz, and it's all about start living your bucket list now. So I encourage you to follow our Outpost Facebook page to stay updated on that. But without that, that's the close of the event. Dakota, thank you again for taking the time out of your morning, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and everyone out there, I hope you have a wonderful day as well.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a part of this.
Thank you. All right. Have a good evening or good morning, wherever you are. Take care.